I want to make this perfectly clear. I have not finished Pokemon Legends Arceus at the time of me scripting and recording this. This video is simply supposed to be an initial thoughts video on the gameplay, story, and other matters, whereas later down the line, I'll be creating more thorough review. But considering that YouTube is a fickle bitch and so am I, here we are. To give you guys an idea of where I am as writing the script, I've been playing the game for about 7.5 hours. I've managed to defeat the first major real boss of the game, and I'm currently in the second major area. I think at this point I have a good grasp of the game's mechanics in order to explain my thoughts cohesively. And if not, then damn you all to hell, fucking trees! Also, I'm not doing a lot of editing for this, and I'm not going to do a lot of audio editing, so sorry if I slur or repeat myself. Apologies. Pokemon Legends Arceus is obviously the newest and latest take on the Pokemon franchise, a franchise that has for a long time needed some experimentation, and I gotta say, I think that this is the right direction for it. But don't get me wrong, I still hope that the RPG mechanics remain in the game in the future, and that we can get other games like previous ones, because that's still a fun game type. They just need to, you know, put effort into it. Kingdom Hearts! Yeah, I like RPG stuff, sue me. In any case, with the addition of real-time catching and some bare-bones stealth mechanics, Legends is actually meant to take enough from the overhyped gem that is Breath of the Wild, while at the same time keeping the core of Pokemon within it. And that's not an insult to Breath of the Wild. Wild is a great game, but there's one thing that I've always hated about the discussion about that game, and in relation to this one in particular, it's that people seem to act like Breath of the Wild is practically untouchable to criticism. Newsflash, it isn't, and neither is Legends, although at this point, I'll still maintain that Legends is still a pretty rad game in its own right. I'm just getting tired of people comparing it to Wild. And I know I just said that the game is good, but I need to start this critique with one of my biggest issues, and that's the lack of voices. I'm not saying that I want the entire game to be voiced, although that would be a good idea, but some of the major introductions or important character moments would be appreciated. I'm looking at some older footage of this morning of a game that I might talk about later this year, and it utterly baffles me how in 2022, Nintendo and Pokemon still haven't gotten the memo that adding voices to your game can help cover some of the smaller polishes. And the game I'm talking about came out in 1998. Even bad voice acting would have been a better option, because at the very least you open up the possibility of being it's so bad that it's memorable and good. When a PS1 game is capable of providing voice acting to cover up its technical difficulties and current day Nintendo software isn't, then I see that as a problem.
Hey, you forgot something!
I cry! Regardless of my bitching, the game does manage to capture the player's attention as it seems, and at this point you've been transferred to the past, or an alternate timeline. I'm not too sure, but I'm leaning on time travel considering all the characters who have parallels to previous Pokemon generations that show up. You gotta join up with Team Galaxy, who is totally not the precursor to Team Galactic. That's just part of your imagination. Don't pay attention to the chick that looks like one of the more messed up villains from Pokemon. Nothing to see here. What's wrong with you? Thanks God for sending me to this hellhole with no actual reception. I joke because this is actually a breath of fresh air, especially considering that you've got basic motivation that's different from I wanna be the very best. Instead, your goal is to not die. Yeah, not even kidding. Captain Ciel? Ciele? Silene? Captain Silene? Pretty much starts this game off by saying that unless you prove yourself, you'll be kicked out of the village and you'll probably die. Yeah, no joking, they literally use the word die in an actual conversation in an official Pokemon game. I know the bar is really low, but considering everything about Pokemon, how I've been playing these games for a while, I'm honestly surprised and a little intrigued by this. I have an actual motivation. Not to die! Granted, it's a Pokemon game, so come on, we know it's not gonna happen.
It was at this moment Jackson knew. He fucked up.
In the arms of the angel.
Watch, as later in the game, you actually do die. Still, as a plot and motivation, I gotta say it's a breath of fresh air, and moving up the ranks of the Galaxy team has this very satisfying feeling of accomplishment. That's pretty much as far as I'll go with the story. It's gotten me intrigued, I want to play more, I want to move up in the ranks, I want to get this game done, and I want to move on with my life, and maybe get some fried chicken. Could be a bit more polished with stuff like voice acting, but it's not a deal breaker, cause I know how to frickin' read. What gibberish! Also, side note, I love the facial expressions. Something so simple goes a long, long way, my friends. Now, the gameplay. As stated earlier, the game takes a few pages out of Breath of the Wild's notebook, but doesn't fully copy it. Which is good, because if you get caught copying someone else's answers on a test, you're gonna get screwed, and not in the good way. Well, maybe, it depends on the education system. It takes a combination of the real-time stealth and movement controls, albeit limited from Breath of the Wild, while still having a slightly watered-down version of the Pokemon's battle system. And even then, I'm hesitant to stick with that watered-down comment because the game does more stuff than the original games with this concept. You can catch Pokemon without engaging them in battle. You can have a much better chance of catching them if you're able to get behind them, sneak up on them before you attempt to throw your Pokeball to the back of their head with a loud smack.
Dodge this, you bastard!
It's either that or you can engage the Pokemon in traditional turn-based combat. But one thing that I noticed early on is if you manage to piss off enough Pokemon in the same area, they'll actually join in on the battle. It's a small change, but adds a lot of dynamic action and forces you to consider the surroundings when you engage in battle. Outside of that, you can be attacked, and there isn't really a health bar for the character, and you'll recover eventually, but you will get your ass knocked out if you're not careful. And at times, you won't be able to use the faster parts of traveling because you can't do fast travel while you're damaged for the most part. At least that's what I understand. Oh yeah, there's fast travel, and I gotta say, it's actually pretty fast. Literally. Sure, it's limited, but hey, I can appreciate it. Saved me some time, and hey, the loading screens weren't that bad. In addition, you get rewards for catching Pokemon, other than experience. But your star rank in the Galaxy team is correlated by how many Pokemon you catch as well as a few other factors when trying to fill out the Pokedex. Stuff like beating them in battles, recording certain moves they use, catching the male and female versions. And you want to do this because every time you get a new level, you get access to new Pokeballs and crafting blueprints. And yes, there is crafting. It's nothing too complicated, it's not too easy. Basically, I'm saying the crafting does what it does well, and it's not something to really complain about. As the game goes on, you get access to other forms of movement. Weirdeer being the prime example, and even with him, you get a lot more of the world opened up to you, because for some reason, you can't swim in this game! I mean, I guess that makes sense. None of the Pokemon protagonists had the ability to swim before, but it's still weird. But thanks to Weirdeer, you can actually jump over rivers pretty easily. There's other things like finding knapsacks that I think are from other players that the Wi-Fi picks up and rarely puts in your map, and you can get additional items for picking them up, and thankfully they're on the map so you can find them easily. I could probably gush over all the gameplay aspects that I want to talk about, but whatever. I guess the last thing to talk about in this video is how the game looks and performs.
Oh no, the graphics are once again absolutely awful. Why is the texture work so bad? Like, no joke, this is a PS2 game and this is Pokemon Legends Arceus. Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey is better.
Now, I know this is probably going to be the most contentious part of the video, but for some reason, I'm going to let you know, I don't care. Yes, there were some small things like the UI bouncing around or some of the textures not looking good, but that stuff doesn't matter to me. The game performed pretty well, and I actually appreciate that. Yeah, I know, for some people, they don't care for that. And if you do, good for you. But I need you to remember that I personally don't give a damn. And I don't give a damn if you think that I'm wrong, because graphics is a subjective stance. I don't play games for graphics. I play games for gaming. So as long as the game doesn't look like crap, I can play it just fine. And in my humble opinion, the game doesn't look like crap. Not to mention, load times, they barely last and there's a lot of speeding up in the regular aspects, cause hell, when you battle there's a quick transition that doesn't really interrupt the gameplay. So there are my current thoughts on the game. What do I think of it in whole? I don't know, I haven't finished the damn thing yet. Give me a few weeks to properly digest it and get into the nitty gritty with a full-on review. Till then, thanks for watching. I'm MangaKamen. Remember to examine your fandom, subscribe, like, leave a comment, blah blah blah. You get the idea. I'm going to bed.